Hello and welcome to Across the Acres, a Beck's Hybrids podcast, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire each and every one of you by interviewing others who have a story or message to share. I am joined by my ever-faithful co-host, producer, engineer, man behind the board, Morgan Fitch.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good, except we are not in Atlanta, Indiana.
We are not.
Where are we?
We are in St. Louis.
St. Louis, Missouri?
Missouri.
With the arch?
The Arch.
And the stuff?
Yeah, the gateway to the west.
Yes, correct. Gateway to the West. We're here for summer camp. We call it summer camp.
We do.
Where our dealers get together and we energize them and educate them and kick off the sales year.
Absolutely.
It's a fantastic event. And because we have our dealers here, today we have the one and only Dusty Libel from the great state of Kansas.
That's right.
You are not in Kansas anymore, Dusty.
Not at all.
Tell me, where is home?
Yeah, so northeast Kansas. So if you look at the map of Kansas, square, except for a little squiggly, squiggly is home.
The squiggly is home.
Squiggly is home, yeah.
What a great way to describe home.
That's the easiest way to describe it.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
And the reason we wanted you on this podcast is you might be one of our most handsome dealers. So we're just glad you're here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Right, Morgan? What a good-looking dude.
You are a very handsome fellow.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I've been wanting to have him on here for a long time. This is a treat.
Yeah.
And further, for your information, Dusty was on a committee to help make Across the Acres as good as we can make it, and I really appreciated your contribution.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was great.
Yep.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes of it all. Who is Dusty Libel? Take us back as far as you care to go, my friend. Where you grew up in the Squiggly?
I did, yeah. So where my wife and family and I live right now is about 5 miles from where I grew up. So I'm born and raised, and that's where I went to college.
Look at you just getting out and stretching the horizons.
I know. Yeah, I'm an adventurer, that's for sure.
Oh, my.
Did you play baseball?
I did.
Yeah, I know it.
I did, yeah. No, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
He just looks like a ball player.
A ball player vibe to
He does.
In a good way.
Thank you.
In a great way.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so grew up in the country, live in the country. I don't know much more than agriculture, but I love it.
Cattle farm, livestock at all?
Yeah, so when we were growing up, Dad had cows. I just don't know much about cattle. I'd always been a row crop guy, so it's never been my thing.
Yep, which is, hey, that's okay. Livestock is not for everyone. It takes a special person or a unique skill set to handle the stress of raising livestock.
Agreed.
And
yeah.
I guess you could say the same about row crop, though, too. It's not easy to deal with a living organism and plant it and hope for the best.
Yeah, so I know we talked about this, but it's amazing. As a farmer, it amazes me that people can't have faith. You know what I mean? Like, you invest your whole life savings into something that you're never going to see, or you're not going to see anything off of it for 6 months. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You have no control over rain, so you just pray.
Ooh, lots of prayer.
Yeah.
And the investment is, just use round numbers here. You could invest, let's say, $1 million to make hopefully 50,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy in some ways.
I know.
It's a gamble, but it's not when you have faith.
Agreed.
That takes the gamble out of it.
Absolutely.
And you're trusting the Lord's going to provide the increase.
And he does every time.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's really faithful.
He is.
And where would we be without him?
Oh, no doubt.
What sparked your first interest in being a Beck's dealer?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I've been a dealer now for, it's like 7 years, I think. So I got the phone call one day as a farmer prospect to go on a private flight to Atlanta, Indiana. Just like probably everybody else. Hell, August, not doing much. I'll take a private flight.
Sure.
And I really didn't anticipate much. And it was 100% the culture. Didn't know anything about the products. really didn't know anything about the Beck family. But the culture was lights out, and went home, and we started figuring out how to do it right there.
That quick.
Yeah, that night.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, so you're really slow to uptake new ideas. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm pretty patient on that. Do my research.
Dump the clutch. Dusty's in. Let's go.
Yep, that's right.
Oh,
That's
that's
right.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Any one particular thing that would stick out that closed the deal?
Oh, man.
You're like, oh, that's why we got to be Beck Steelers.
I don't know. So I think what I told Kristen, like when I got home, because I'll be honest with you, I've never sold anything in my life. Always had that stigma of like used car salesman, like not somebody I want to be. But like I told Kristen, like Sonny Beck seems like I'm gonna work for my grandpa. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
he didn't know me from Adam. I didn't know him from Adam. But you could just get that sense that he actually like gave a crap, you know, like he cared about my success or my future. And
Genuinely care.
yeah.
It's real.
And 7 years, he hasn't proven me wrong. So
No.
I can continue to work for that.
It's been 7 years already.
I think so, Ringer. I think so.
Wow.
It was 18's crop.
I mean,
so
yeah. I don't doubt you. You're smarter than I am, but that time is just disappearing on us.
I know.
That means you and I are 7 years older. Morgan doesn't age, but we do.
That's a lie.
Oh, okay. Well, it makes me feel better, I guess. Then the day-to-day operation of this Beck's dealership, Kristen's involved, your wife.
She's the brains behind it. Yes.
The truth comes out.
Absolutely. I'll
See,
not deny
ladies and
that.
gentlemen, you put a microphone in front of a guy, a bright light, and all of a sudden he starts telling the truth.
No, she is. She's brilliant.
She's really pretty, too.
Yeah, no, I outkicked my coverage.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, so you know, she has a full-time job. She's very good at what she does. She excels in it.
What does she do?
She's a banker.
She's a banker.
Yep. She wears a lot of hats, but she has her MBA. I mean, from our marketing decisions to you know, making the next big step in our business, as we've been very blessed. Yeah, she's the one I go to on all of it.
Did she kick off the idea of you need to go to Dealer Business Academy, or was that your idea?
So after you and I had talked about it, I presented to her when I had some visual evidence of what it was. And yeah, she was ecstatic. Like, of course, I was excited as well. Don't get me wrong. But she said, yeah, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It really is. And I mean, even to see like Navy SEALs in front of us teaching us about what they do and, you know, their mindset, it was an awesome experience. It really was.
Also, just to hear what they go through as a defense of our country, it's unbelievable to me. And the way they describe battle, it's like you and I talking about filing paperwork.
Oh, I know. Like where'd you eat at last night? You know?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had a burger and fries. Oh, yeah. We climbed a hill and had to shoot people or defend a outcropping. And it's amazing.
It is amazing, and it's their mindset. You know, like just win. No excuses. Don't blame anybody. Just win. And I love it.
The book Extreme Ownership is one of the books we got to read, and that's why we got to see these Navy SEALs come and speak to us. Jocko Willick and Leif Babin. Thank you.
Yep.
Please read that book. It's worth your time to read.
Yeah. Yep. And the second one I thought was just as good as well. The Dichotomy of Leadership. It was very good.
Yes.
Yep.
Man, good stuff. Okay, so your wife's obviously doing a lot of the thinking and the planning and the strategy. Your role is to just look pretty, or
I'm just the face, man.
Okay.
I'm just the face. Yeah. You know, Kristen is, you know, the key behind all of the things that go on behind the scenes. And we have a gal that works for us as well, and she does a very good job. But yeah, no, I enjoy the interactions with customers is what I enjoy.
good.
Yep.
That moment to just be with them, hear them, understand what they're going through.
Yeah, and what's been kind of cool, like PFR, has made me sound smarter than I probably am. Because I can relay that back to them. Like when we started, we were in the geography that we plant corn, we wait, and then we plant beans, and that's completely flip flopped. And PFR started that.
Beans first, let's go.
That's right.
Okay. As far as delivery, that's you taking seed to the customer?
Delivery wears a lot of hats. It's whoever's available, whether that be me, Blair. My dad has done it.
Blair's the young lady that works for him, just to be clear.
Yep. Delivery from, April and May, basically, for us. You just do whatever you can. Yeah.
You're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And you said your dad helps out too?
He does, yeah.
Shout out to Dad.
Yep, Dad. He's been super supportive and a big help and mentor during this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His vision of what you have become, did he have any idea it was going to be this? Okay.
No, I don't think any of us did. I mean, we'd hoped and, wanted, but no, we've got great customers. I'm sure it's a cliche, but we have the best customers, and they've been wonderful to work with.
You bet. Very good. As far as the team at Beck's Hybrids, you've got a lot of people supporting you and helping you. What's the value of that to you? How do you quantify that, or who's on your team? Who helps you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Make sure I got this thing right.
You're doing great, by the way.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Thanks. So we're here right now in St. Louis, right? And for the central region. Even though like we're going to breakouts and we're learning a lot of good things from very intelligent people, which is magnitude. It's the reaction with other dealers, with agronomists, seed advisors, ATLs. Over the years, when you develop those relationships, every time you see each other, you go a little farther in. Mm-hmm. And there's a little bit more value, whether that be on a business or personal standpoint. So, I mean, the people that I've learned from and people that I would say are in my so-called corner, you've been a big mentor to me, and I appreciate that. They're just too numerous to count.
Yep, absolutely. We have so many unbelievable people around us, Morgan being one of them, and our marketing team and our agronomy support and our product support, and it almost is a little overwhelming.
Agreed. So we have been very blessed in our dealership, and have seen growth beyond our expectations, like we talked. But I mean, it's not me, and I mean, yes, I may have the face of the dealership, but there's so many more people that are involved in it. And like if somebody says, if you're self-made or look what you've done, like that's crap, man. It's, I mean, I read something, it was right after you asked me to be on this, and I thought it was awesome. Like, a humble man knows that all good things come from God, and all you do is just work hard. So that's really resonated with me.
Amen.
As we reflect on it, and I believe in that will continue to breed success.
Absolutely right. That compounding interest works when it comes to what we put in it, and then how God blesses it as well.
That's right.
He's an ROI God.
Yeah, absolutely. And, success doesn't always mean monetary either.
No, it does not. And that's hard for me to remember sometimes, because I'm one of those foolish people who compare myself to other people.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to like Lake the Ozarks or someplace and you see these boats?
Yep.
And you're thinking, okay, what didn't I do?
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, do you really want that boat anyway?
Right.
It's burning $100 a minute.
Boat.
It's just a boat.
Or is the guy driving even happy?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
He may be miserable.
I've said it before. That's why you find somebody with a boat.
It's not what you own, it's what your friends own.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, man, so true. On a different note, rumor has it you enjoy a little bourbon from time to time.
I do, yeah.
Talk to me about your go-to bourbon.
I don't know if I actually have a go-to bourbon to throw another wrench into that. So I actually like gin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I still love you, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's perfect. But, I mean, I don't Buffalo Trace is probably my favorite.
Yeah. Okay.
But, no, if I had a hard day or a long day, I could just sit down and have a cold gin and tonic.
A gin and tonic. A gin of choice, perhaps.
Tanqueray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you tried aviation?
See, yeah. And
I don't know anything about gin. I just saw a commercial once, and it's Ryan Reynolds, and I thought,
Yeah,
well, hey,
yeah.
it's got to be cool.
so I know Kristen is going to listen to this, and it's going to hopefully not upset her, but that's what she gets me for like my birthday or Christmas. And I don't like it.
Oh.
No. I mean, it's okay.
We'll
It's
cut
okay.
Yeah, edit that part
I
out.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. But no, it's not my favorite now.
Okay. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Doesn't. We are all made so different. We all have such different tastes in everything.
True.
It's amazing.
They
Absolutely.
have a Jin Old Fashioned downstairs at the bar.
Did you try it?
Well, I ordered an Old Fashioned, and they gave me a Jin Old Fashioned. So, yeah, I tried it.
And?
It's not bad. I've never been a huge gin guy, but yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Wasn't
know
bad.
there was such a thing.
I don't
I've
like
never
tonic
heard that.
water. Is my
Oh,
thing,
really?
So,
That'll get you.
I'll have to remember that.
yeah.
Yeah.
There is a saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And that really tough times don't last, but tough people do. There's both of those sayings. I've heard them both. And you've gone through some tough things. If you would please just share with our audience one of those tough things you've been through and how it's had a lasting impact on you, what you learned from it.
Yeah. So when I was 14, freshman in high school, it was January. So I have three younger sisters, by the way.
Three younger
Three
sisters.
younger sisters. Still know nothing about women.
Okay, yeah.
So
You should have been born a baby. They'll teach you all sorts of things.
yeah. So mom and dad set us down, and that's when they explained that mom had been diagnosed with cancer. Retrospect, I've thought a lot about it, and I still feel at the time I was still very naive. So my mom was the backbone in our family. She had faith that was phenomenal, and she was a very hard worker. But anyway, so, well, she's got cancer. Okay, get through cancer and see what the rest of life brings.
And how old are your sisters at this time?
Okay, so I was 14, so Jesse would have been 12, Lindsay would have been 10, and Maddie would have been 6 or 7.
That's a lot to hear at 6 or 7.
Yep. Anyway, mom battled cancer, and then September of 2007, she passed away. It was tough, man. I'm not gonna lie, it was tough. But that's been. I'm 36 now. That'd be 17 years ago. So it took some time. I mean, I'll have to be completely honest about it. It took some time. But then as maturity grew, you realize, like, we're the ones sad.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, I felt like she had faith that could move mountains. So if you start there, then you know where she's at. And then also, if she had faith that could move mountains, why don't I? And don't get me wrong, like, we were raised since day one in church as Christians. Then after like I had this revelation years after she had passed away, it's like I refound Jesus. I don't know if that's a thing, but it
You bet
happened.
it is.
It
Oh,
happened.
yeah.
So still screw up every day, but still trying to get better.
A wise man once told me that Jesus didn't move we chose to turn away for a time. And because Jesus didn't move, we always know where to find him. We just got to go back to where we left him.
Yeah.
And that's what you went through. We all go through that to one degree or another, and multiple times throughout life.
Sure.
Shoot, I can vacillate from having faith that can move mountains to not having faith to believe he's going to take care of me, all within the matter of seconds.
Sure.
And maybe I'm the only crazy guy that has emotional swings like that, but holy moly, it's just some days life is kicking us in the teeth.
It is. It is. But you get stronger.
Hmm.
And you just get better.
You bet.
Yeah.
The opportunity then that your sisters had to watch you and your dad process this as the leaders of the family, that had to be encouraging to them. I mean, that's uber tough on you as kids and unbelievably hard on your dad.
Yeah. Yeah, that was tough on Dad. And rightfully so.
You bet. Love of his life, and now he's got to figure out how to raise kids.
And 3 girls still at home.
Three girls. Yowzer.
Yeah.
That sounds overwhelming in a number of ways.
Sure. Yeah, man, Ringer, I don't know that I've ever thought of it like that. It was more of a selfish thing. So what I mean by that is I got to spend 19 years with my mom.
Mm.
Jesse only got to spend 17. They only got to spend 15, and Maddie only got to spend 12. So, just a matter of perspective, I suppose.
Perspective is everything.
It really is.
And when we maintain the right perspective, what we can learn from every situation we are in, good or bad, can be remarkable. But then again, sometimes I find myself very upset with those situations and circumstances. I would like things to go right.
Yeah, it's not. Reality isn't what went on in your head.
No.
You know?
I prefer smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth is good. Let's just have a normal day, whatever normal means. And life is made up of a series of days that are never normal. What's normal?
That's right.
And losing your mom at a tender age like that, and losing your wife when you're still trying to raise a family, that's mind-numbingly unnormal.
Yeah.
And very, very, very hard. If you could pass along any encouragement to someone who's dealing with this exact grief of losing a parent or a close loved one, what might that advice be or encouragement be?
I don't know. I mean, everything points back to, like, it's just your faith, and I mean, God is almighty. He is. We know that, right? But he's not far away. So even, we all grieve differently. We all go through things differently, and that's great. Scream, yell, cry, laugh. I mean, whatever. I mean,
it doesn't have to look the same.
No. You don't. However you go through it yourself is your own thing. I mean, I don't have the golden ticket for that, but it. Like, okay, here. This is what I used to have on my mirror. The poem "Footprints in the Sand."
Mm-hmm.
You've all seen it, right?
You bet.
That's life, though. That really happened. You don't know it at the time. You look back years later and like, how in the hell did I get through that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because he was carrying me, man.
Mm-hmm. It's the only way we made it.
That's right.
Only way.
That's right.
And it's in those moments that we see such positivity in you. And I'm assuming that's because Jesus is still carrying you.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Yeah.
Because of these hard things you've gone through, you're not negative Nelly. You're not the glass is empty. You maintain this air of positivity about you. You're always smiling, and highlights your great smile and great teeth.
I was
Darn
going
it.
to say, yeah.
All right?
Thank you.
Whites.
I tell you what.
A
Yeah.
lot of money went into those.
But that positive outlook comes from faith, as you've mentioned.
Yep.
And Jesus carrying you through those tough times.
Yep.
What
Yep, absolutely.
for those of us whom aren't grieving in that way, but know others who are? What do we say? What do we do?
I don't know. Maybe don't do anything. Maybe don't say anything. Maybe just listen. Maybe you just stand there. Because everybody does deal with it differently. And some people want to talk, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to cry, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're just there. You're just there.
Presence.
Being a good friend doesn't have always the right words to say. You're just there. You're supporting them. 11 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock in the morning. A phone call. I mean, we all carry our cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Just be there.
That's really good advice. This is hitting pretty close to home. We didn't plan the timing of this, but within our Beck family of employees, we've had a daughter go home early, very early. She's 9. A brother, 25, I believe he was. A mother-in-law, all within the last 30 days.
Oh, Jimmy,
Yeah,
Christmas.
probably.
And so there's a lot of people just within our little Beck family of employees whom are really hurting and probably asking why
Sure.
and asking what good is this for and all those things that people ask. And so if we can just be there for them.
I think so, man. I think
Yeah.
so. I mean, so Morgan, you, David, you guys have gone through things that I haven't gone through, and I've gone through things you haven't gone through. I don't like when somebody says, "Well, I know what you're going through." I'm like, no,
Yeah.
no, you don't. Like,
Mm-mm.
I've never walked in your shoes. You've never walked in mine. Same here. So just be there. Just be there. Just be a friend. However that looks.
We have a family in my hometown that a dad passed away suddenly, heart attack, and he was 60s. But still, it was a shock to the family. And due to their religious custom, his friends came over and sat in silence for, I believe it was 6 hours. They just sat with him. Nobody said a word. And they get up and they hug him at the end of it all and they leave. Nobody said anything. That's what you do. And so I asked one of them afterwards, what was that like? Nobody said anything for 6 hours or 4 hours, however long it was. It was a long time. And he said that was the most positive experience he's ever been a part of. He knew he was there for his friend and that he didn't have words. No one could fix it. No one was bringing his dad back. We're just going to sit in it with you. And we're here. And every now and then somebody would start crying. Somebody would start laughing. And then they'd go back to silence again. No, never a word spoken. And I don't know that some families like mine couldn't pull that off.
Sure.
But, wow.
But I mean, like, think about it, just analogy-wise. If you're in the basement, somebody flips lights off. It's dark. Would you rather be down there alone, or just somebody with you?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
I would absolutely want someone with me,
Absolutely.
without question.
I mean, we're human beings. We love interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In fact, the dark is remarkably unfrightening when you're with someone. And when you're alone, it can be terrifying, even for adults like
Sure.
me.
Sure.
And grief is a dark place. And it's confusing and doesn't make sense to our ways. But the Bible teaches us that his ways are above our ways, higher than the heavens are above the earth, as you guys know. And that's a pretty far away. That's a big distance.
It is.
And so I'm trying to shove what God has done into my little logic path, and it isn't making any sense.
Yep.
Okay. Lots to learn. Any other takeaways from that experience?
Oh, my goodness, man. I don't know. I mean, I still think about my mom almost every day. But it's not sad. It's not sad thoughts anymore. Is there remorse from, she never got to see her grandkids, or She never got to walk any of us down the aisle or see us get married. Sure. I mean, that's human nature.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's my faith or the power of God that takes over me. And it's like, that's not sad,
Mm-mm.
you know? Because where she's at now is uncomparable to even what we go through or even the happiest days of our lives. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So
Her time on earth is done. And so we might be tempted to say, what was her name? But we know her soul is alive and she's in heaven. So what is your mom's name?
Janet.
Janet.
Yep. Janet.
She is not missing here
No.
at all.
Right.
And that's hard for us to remember, too, in the moment of grief.
Sure.
And, yeah, we just had that experience again at Beck's. And he said, I don't want her back, but I'm really lonely. And that's understandable.
Yeah.
To miss who's gone. But to wish them back from heaven. There's several books written by people whom have experienced heaven, and then they were brought back by the doctors or by someone doing CPR. And like, what are you doing? Why'd you bring me back? And it makes for a powerful, powerful message to remember. This is temporal. That is eternal. What am I doing to get there? Because I don't. There's an old song. I've got more to go to heaven for than I had yesterday. And Janet's another reason we need to get to heaven.
Sure.
I want to meet her.
She's good stuff, man.
She did a
good
great
stuff.
job.
Yeah.
Raising you.
I got plenty of my own issues.
Oh,
Don't we all?
Yeah, I was going to say, that list is long for me, so
Yeah.
don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Switching gears, how would customers of NEK Ag Services describe you?
Hopefully, it's helpful. And I mean that in like help means many different hats, whether that be agronomic. We've integrated Farm Server as a major tool in our dealership. So maybe it's walking through some of those things. Or just truly caring to try to take $1 and make it 10. So I guess that kind of goes back to that business relationship as well. I mean, if you're trusting the livelihood of your family with my hands, I'm gonna do my damnedest to make sure that we magnitude that as much as we possibly can.
You bet. And some of our listeners may not be able to figure out, what does NEK Ag Services stand for?
Yeah, so it's not NEK. It's not NEK. It's just Northeast Kansas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You chose not to go with squiggly line
Squiggly.
Ag Service.
Yeah, I know. Retrospect, maybe we should have.
No, I like NEK. It
Yeah.
works out really well.
Yeah.
I do
And
too.
it looks great on the hat,
Thank
too,
you.
by the way.
Thank you. Actually, true story, David Frederick designed that.
Nice.
Looking at it is
It's a
the
leaf. leaf
coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Totally
Yep.
David.
Yep, totally Frederick.
It's a Frederick
It
move.
is. I love it.
Yep.
And I am the proud owner, Morgan, of an NEK Ag Services hat.
What?
It's tri-branded. So it's got this. It's got Beck's on the side as Dusty Stuff today. And then I've got the Kansas State
Wildcat.
Wildcat
yeah.
on the side. I was about ready to
KS.
say like Panther or
KSU.
Cougar or something, but I got a little KSU repping over here on the side, and I wear it, and people are like, "Why do you like Kansas State?" I don't, but I like Dusty Libel. That's
I
what I tell
appreciate
them.
that. I appreciate
And
that.
they're like, "Who's Dusty Libel?" Well, come to Kansas with me,
Yeah.
and I'll introduce you to him. Couple last questions.
Yeah.
Advice you would give to others whom are considering a change in occupation or maybe a bold new adventure like you went on to become a Beck's dealer. Any thoughts on that?
Man, so I am very blessed in what I get to do. I get to farm with my dad, and I get to help other people farm. So I don't actually work. Like that's not, I enjoy what I do so much that it doesn't feel like work now.
And
sure,
Kristen does it all. I think we learned that.
that's true. Yeah, she's a rock star. So just do what you love. if that is with ag, then great. I mean, Beck's has a phenomenal platform, but if it's riding a bike, if you love riding a bike, go find something you can get paid to ride a bike. Like,
That's right.
Life's short, and just do what makes you happy.
Amen. Would that be the quote you would recommend we live by? Or do you have another one?
I mean, I don't know if I have a quote, but I think that's something. I mean,
I like that one.
It's something to go by. Yeah.
By the way, we are doing a live recording if you haven't picked up on this, and so there's going to be some background noise, but we did this on purpose to, one, raise awareness for Across the Acres, and two, I mean, if you're going to have Dusty Libel on a podcast, you better make it known to the world. So that's why we're doing this.
Thank you.
Anything else I missed, Morgan?
No, I'm good.
Dusty, anything else you'd like to share?
No, I appreciate greatly the opportunity today. I really do.
Well, we are thrilled that you were willing to be a part of our podcast and our committee to make it better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime.
We are not letting you out of here, though, without the fun
I know.
Fast
I haven't
Five.
seen these. He
You haven't
keeps
either?
me in the dark some
Yes,
of the time.
I
so
do.
Oh, I didn't know
Because
that.
Morgan
Good
would
luck,
scrub
sir.
them and make me be nicer, and we're just not going to do that. Morgan's a nice guy. I'm out to make you sweat a little bit. So if you're ready,
Yes, sir.
here we go. Read a book or listen to a book.
Read a book.
Attaboy.
Morgan Wallen or George Strait?
George Strait. Don't ask me that.
That's why I asked it. Pineapple pizza or candy corn?
Oh no, neither, man.
Oh,
I
neither.
can't do it.
What's your go-to pizza?
Pepperoni all day long.
And what's your go-to candy? You don't really eat.
I don't eat
Who
candy.
eats
No.
candy corn?
Oh, this guy. I love candy corn. Yeah, it's an addictive
explains a
chemical.
lot.
Yeah, it's a problem for me. I'm in counseling for it. You were going to say something about pepperoni pizza.
No, my wife and daughter love pineapple pizza, and I think it's like stepping on the flag. It's wrong.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah.
A funny story or a one-liner?
Funny story.
Last but not least, owe money or owe a favor?
Oh, a favor.
Now, why is that?
You don't measure life monetarily, man.
Ooh, nicely
That's
done.
good.
Yeah.
Nicely done indeed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Hey,
for participating.
thank you both.
today.
Yeah, thank you,
both.
man.
Appreciate
This
it.
was a
Morgan.
treat. Thanks to all of you for joining us on Across the Acres, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire. Please give us a 5-star rating and review on the podcast provider of your choice. And until next time, we will catch you across the acres.